Storm, earth, and fire, heed my call.
What's up everyone, it's Waves and today I have a new M+ commentary for you guys. This is a special one as well, cause this is a 26 Academy, which after we timed this run, we actually had someone from Raid.io come up to us and offer us to do sort of like an interview where we give them a little bit of information about our route and stuff like that, cause they do something that's called Play Like the Pros, which, you know, features like the highest keys of the week and like the routes that those people used to time those keys, and then they have like sort of an article where it's like every single dungeon and then one like top team that timed like a very high keystone of that dungeon and just info about the route basically. So that was nice. I will have the links to that in the video description, so if you want to check that out, then yeah, would be cool. So check the link in the description. And yeah, with that being said, I would say we start the video. This is actually a pretty interesting key as well, cause I made quite the mistakes in this key, but nothing that we can't use for our benefit. So hopefully we can learn from the mistakes I made. Obviously, I will point them out, tell you guys what I did poorly, what I could do better. I'm running Grief Torch here instead of Puzzle Box. You could argue that you should play Puzzle Box here instead of Grief Torch, but I don't even remember why I played Grief Torch. Maybe I thought it was good. Maybe I still had it on from Raid. I honestly can't remember. Either way, we start the first pull here. We try to gather up everything in this room. It's important to watch out for skitterflies when they start raging, because raging skitterflies are not that great. A lot of people always tell me... Wait, actually, let me say this first. Always try to move with your tank, like in the same direction as your tank. It makes it way easier for your uptime, so you can actually do some damage. A lot of people always say that this room is like very bad for enhance and whatever, right? And yeah, we're kept to 6 targets, right? Like obviously we're not gonna do the AoE damage that a warrior is doing right now, that's doing 1,000,000 DPS. Sure, we're not gonna do that, but we also don't need to do that, right? Like look at how fast these mobs are dying. Like both my Feral and my Warrior are doing 1,000,000 DPS. I'm doing 300k. It's whatever, right? I mean, yeah. So here I actually got tricked into one direction. Then the monk tank switched direction. Then I had to walk through the things because I wanted to keep uptime. I was a little bit greedy, and then I got stuck in the storming, and then I died to the AoE on the ground because of the storming. I couldn't get out of it anymore. So obviously, kind of troll, kind of bad, just my mistake. I should have just taken the downtime, walk around and just play it safe. But yeah, I didn't think I would get caught in the storming there. So yeah, I lost quite a lot of uptime there. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because again, I don't really do that much damage here in an uncapped AoE situation anyways. But yeah, it is what it is. So I also don't get to use my Grief Torch here. Like for this, actually Grief Torch is pretty fucking bad. Thinking about it now, like in hindsight, I think Grief Torch is just not the play for the entirety of the key. So yeah, if I play Academy again, I definitely won't play Grief Torch again here. Now I actually started playing Icon and Hunger of the Pack, both of them like double crit trinkets. And you will see that in like future commentaries, because I have 2 more keys that I recorded. And I know that in one of them at least I played that double crit trinket combination, sorry. And I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I will talk about it once we get there. I also get hit here. I don't know, I played this key very messy. It was also, by the way, I know it sounds like an excuse, but it's actually true. This was the first key of the day that we played, and it's also the first key that we played with this tank. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't warmed up or anything, because we just kind of jumped into this and just played that. So yeah, I'm making some mistakes here and there, but it's fine. Nothing we couldn't learn from. So yeah, crit trinkets. Yeah, I will mention it then in the next few videos, like when I'm actually playing them. Just so you've heard it before here, that it is actually pretty good to play Hunger of the Pack and Icon. At least for me, I don't know. For my gear it works. And yeah, so now we're on the Overgrown Ancient. You guys know the drill, right? It's just funneling everything you can into the boss. It's a tyrannical key as well, so pretty much whatever we can do to gain funnel is what we want to do, like keeping these hungry lashes up as much as we can. Yeah, that's obviously at some point we want to kill them as well, but we don't just want to AoE blast them and nuke them and blade storm and everything, you know. We want to use them for funnel as long as we can. We're also communicating with our healer. When he cleanses our debuff, then we don't need to kill the ad quick. If he doesn't, then we do. So just coordinating basically when and how fast we need to kill the ad is really good. On this phase, by the way, on the Germinate, whenever the bronze whirlies are on the ground and the ads are spawning, those are like the moments where you really want to try to not get caught by storming. Storming can be a really shit affix, especially if you have a full melee group. But for the most part, I think we're doing a great job managing it. This is very unfortunate thundering timing here, because we have to stay stacked for the mechanic, for the Germinate, basically. So I was caught a little bit behind, so I just stepped outside, just played it safe there, and then just grief torched from outside. And yeah, now again we have ads again, so we just start funneling into the boss. And I mean, this is like a 2.5 minute boss fight, and the boss is already down to like 14%, which I think for a 26 tyrannical boss fight, that's like a good pace, I would say. Like anything that is between 3 to 4 minutes, I think is pretty good for a tyrannical boss, in my opinion. So yeah, not unhappy with this one. Now the boss is getting very, very low. The tank has like 13 stacks there, but now we cleansed it, so it is all good. I have aggro from some ads, but the boss is just dead, and we can move on to the Sentry. With our comp, there's not really a lot that we can do. I think there's a monk snap, or there's supposed to be a monk snap. How a monk can snap something to the Sentry. I'm not sure how exactly it works. I don't know if we can do that. But yeah, for now we're just playing it by itself. And I remember this. Like, there's a very bad situation coming up here on the Sentry. And I don't even know. Like, look at this. Look at this thundering spawn, alright? Like, we want to line behind this pillar. And we have 2 thundering spawn here. And you can see Jelly's just moving into it, taking the stun. Like, right here, he's getting stunned. But it's fine, because he's, like, around the pillar. I was waiting, because I thought, you know, I could wait for the thundering to be gone and then move around. I should have just taken the stun. It was just my bad. Like, there's nothing else to it. It's just me making a bad call. If I just ran through the thundering, I would have been stunned, but it would be fine. But yeah, I don't know what my brain was thinking at that moment, thinking that I'd rather stand in a one-shot ability than in a stun. But anyways, like, I made a bad call, but it is what it is. So we get CR'd here just to save time, so I don't have to run from the start. And then we continue playing the Sentry. The Sentry also kind of shit, because you have storming and you have the tornadoes from the mob. And if you run into a tornado from the mob in a very high key, like this one to the left, you're dead. Whereas if you run into a storming tornado, obviously you're not dead. But sometimes, depending on where they spawn and if they are stacked on top of each other and stuff like that, it can be a little bit confusing. And yeah, can be a little bit much to dodge, and then like keeping overview of like, okay, what can I run into, what can I not run into, can sometimes catch you off guard, but it's fine. We get it done. Not the most efficient thing you can play, just playing this by itself, especially not if someone dies like an idiot, but it is what it is. We now move on to the Territorial Eagles. First one doesn't have an elite, so we just cleave them all down. We have the deep breath come in from the healer here. And yeah, we pretty much just kill them as fast as we can. And then we have the next packs, of course. As every time we have funnel, it's really good for our comp, because Feral has a lot of funnel, Enhance has a lot of funnel. So right here, for example, we have 1 elite and a couple of smallies. We want to keep the smallies alive as long as possible. We ignore that our tank just popped a shocking disclosure potion and is basically killing the ads with it. But yeah, theoretically, you want to just keep these mobs and funnel into the main eagle. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. We could have done this way more efficiently, obviously, but yeah, it is what it is. Next pack, we have 2 of those. So again, we want to funnel as much into them as we can. And then we get to Crawth. And Crawth is in a tyrannical week. I would say either the hardest or the second hardest boss here. It depends on your damage. I think for our group, it's the second hardest. I think the hardest is Vexamus, but they are pretty much like on the same level. Like, you know, kind of close, pretty comparable in my opinion. This one is relatively easy if you have a lot of damage, because if you have a lot of damage, you don't even need to go to the win phase, because you can just go to 4 stacks, and then between the 4th and the 5th stack, you reset, you get the stun, you get bloodlust, you get all your cooldowns, you get potions, and then you reset, and then you go to 4 stacks again, and right before the 5th stack, you reset again, basically. So yeah, if you have a lot of damage, you don't even need to play for a long time, if at all, in the last phase where you have the wins, basically. So yeah, as you can see, we finish off the eagles here. And by the way, I do another mistake here, which I learned now. The phase, like the damage phase, is always 1.5 minutes away. I didn't know this exactly, which is why I use my first primordial wave, but I think I hold my second one, even though I could have used my second one and get it up again for the damage phase, basically. So that is something that I can improve on. I just wasn't sure, and I'd rather hold it and be sure that I have it for the phase, instead of like wasting it and then not having it. But for now, for the next key, I know that I can in fact use 2. So yeah, I used the first one here, as I said. But yeah, I don't think that I used the second one, but we will see in a second. So again, first Screech here, you don't need anything as enhancement. I'm not 100% sure how the other people in my group are solving this, but I assume that most of you guys watching my commentaries are enhanced players. So this is always assuming you have appropriate gear for the key level that you're doing. So yeah, we're doing a 26 here. First Screech, don't need anything. Second Screech, don't need anything, but it's getting pretty close. If I had a Diona ring proc here, then it would have been completely safe, obviously. But yeah, third one, I could either shift into Ghost Wolf for Spirit Wolf for the damage reduction, but I would lose a lot of damage on the boss, and since damage on the boss in a 26 key is very important, we have Zephyr here, and the healer grips me with Rescue, and he's playing a talent that gives me a 30% HP shield whenever he rescues me, so I'm very safe here with Zephyr and the grip. Very, very safe. Didn't even drop below half health. And then I have Astral Shift for the last one, basically. And this is how we always want to have it. For like emergencies, I would also have Earth Alley, but yeah. I Astral Shift here, and I dropped pretty low, to be fair, because I didn't have anything else, but I won't die from it, so it's fine. I actually Earth Allied as well then, just to be sure, like afterwards, that I wouldn't die. Was a little bit of a panic press. I shouldn't actually have pressed that there, but I guess it is what it is. And yeah, then as you can see, before the 5th stack comes, we reset here and try to do all the damage that we can onto the boss during this phase. We have potions running, we have bloodlust running. We use the thundering buff as long as we can. This is very important as well. Yeah, the only thing I could have also done is have my grief torch for it, because it's 1.5 minutes. I could also just do it to where I use it on pull, so I have it for the damage phase again. But yeah, usually I don't play with grief torch here, so yeah, wasn't really too sure. Also, I wasn't sure that it's exactly 1.5 minutes. But all things that I can improve for the next key, so that's very good. But yeah, now we again go up to 4 stacks before we do the thing again. I just realized how many times I died in this key, bro. I played so bad in this key. Holy shit, man. Like, I'm actually glad I'm doing this commentary right now, because there's a lot of like knowledge I can like get out of rewatching my gameplay here, because I noticed a lot of things that I did wrong in this key. This key actually was the 5th best tyrannical Algeth'ar at the time when we did it, and it was only 30 seconds slower than the fastest. So we could have gotten a rank 1 key here. And I think actually we could have gotten it if I played better. Like straight up. Of course, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that made mistakes in this whole key. But obviously I'm right now in a position where I can see the mistakes I made. And I could have easily saved 30 seconds. So yeah, if we play this perfect, I think we could even time a 27. Like by the time that, you know, we could save if everyone plays perfect. But obviously it's hard for everyone to always play perfect. But yeah, so we're at 4 stacks here. The boss is at 20%, so now we activate the wind thingy. And I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but do I even die twice here? I think I actually died twice here on this fight still, which is pretty fucking terrible. So the first one should be, I mean, both are from a tornado. But actually, I don't remember when the first one is. I think it's like coming up right here soonish. Yeah, there's one below the boss, but I didn't see it. Is it that? No, it's actually not that. All right, then I'm not sure when it happens. I know that I die at the very end, but okay, maybe I don't die before then. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, cause the boss is like very low already. I canceled my Grief Torch. My god, man. Like, this is embarrassing to watch, bro. Like, I just canceled my fucking Grief Torch. Alright, guys. You just ignore when I do dumb shit like that, alright? We just ignore it, okay? So... Yeah, this is where I died. Because I thought we would commit, right? So I didn't... Okay. Wait, let me show you this again. I thought we would commit to killing it, right? Because obviously, I see that the Screech is going off, right? Like, I see that. And I don't have anything up for it, like nothing at all. It's the third one, where usually I get rescued. But I think that Crawth also thought we commit, and I thought we commit, so I didn't shift into Ghost Wolf, and then it just killed me. Well, it is what it is, right? It was very close though, so yeah. If I knew that we wouldn't all commit to it, then I could have shifted into Ghost Wolf, but I didn't, so... Yeah, a little bit of a time loss, nothing terrible, but yeah, definitely something that next time I should just play it safe and shift into Ghost Wolf, I guess. Or we should communicate better that we all commit onto the boss instead of not doing that. I mean, maybe we all committed and we just didn't have enough damage, that could also be the case. But yeah, now we skip these 3 mobs here, and then we take everything together, like the rest, all the foragers. I think it's like 8 foragers, and then... just the Battle Axe and the Scepter and the Ravager. And we try to cleave everything into the Ravager. Unfortunately, we don't have baits here from our healers, so it is kind of like all over the place where these mobs are moving. So it is really hard for me to have any uptime here on these mobs, basically. Because every time that the Ravager jumps out of the mobs, I have to tab over to another one to use my spenders and stuff like that, because I want to funnel into the Ravager, but whenever it jumps away, because the healer's not baiting with line of sight, see, now he baited, and the Ravager is standing still, so all the mobs are grouped up on the Ravager, and then it's way easier for me to funnel the damage into the Ravager. Every time he lets him jump somewhere, like on him, obviously, then, you know, I can't. Now he's too close, so that it's actually going on me instead of on him. That's also not good. So yeah, I'm losing like a ton of damage here, just basically from us not having like good baits here. I could have, I guess, just stood in, but I walked out a little bit when I had the bait on me, because I just wanted to play safe. But I guess most of my like damage loss is also still from playing too safe in a lot of situations. I noticed that as well when I watched some of our keys back. Whereas if I just knew, okay, I won't die to this, I can play a little bit more risky and stuff like that, then I could do a lot more damage than I'm actually doing in a lot of situations. So yeah, definitely something I can work on. I feel like I do a great job at that in the next 2 keys that I'm gonna upload, where I actually played more with the mindset of like, okay, I just stand here and I do my damage. I don't over dodge things. Of course, I make sure that I don't stand in shit that would kill me, but like, you know, I'm focused more on like doing damage and like getting the most out of my character instead of like playing super safe and like wasting a lot of time, but by losing a lot of damage. So yeah, we had a forager pack pulled here on top of this bridge pull, because I mean it's tyrannical, nothing really does anything. We have a shit ton of AoE CC. I mean, you guys know it by now, right? We can leg sweep into Cap Totem, into Thunderstorm, into Sundering, into Vortex Typhoon, into AoE knockup from the Evoker, into Ring of Peace. Like, we have what feels like infinite AoE stops if we need them. So yeah, pretty much just blasting damage. We don't really have to worry about anything. We also, on top of all of that AoE CC, obviously have kicks as well. So yeah, nothing too scary here in trash packs. The real scary things here in Tyrannical obviously is the bosses. And speaking of which, we're right about to pull Vexamus. And Vexamus, as I said, is probably the hardest boss in here. because it can have some nasty overlaps, which if you don't have like externals and personals and everything like sorted like perfectly, then the chance is very high that you may die to it. So yeah, we obviously always have our healer call them out, like, okay, on this one we have this, on this one we use personals, on this one we need rally, on this one we have Zephyr, this is whatever, right? So yeah, it's really important that you have communication here, that you plan your stuff, that you're not like, you know, just surprised by overlaps happening or by mechanics just overall happening. You always want to know exactly, okay, this ability is going to happen, I'm going to use this to respond to it, basically. So yeah, right here we take the 2 Foragers and the Ravager onto the last pack, and then we basically just plan on funneling into the Ravager, which I'm really trying really hard to do here. But we just basically want to kill this pack so that the boss RP starts to spawn the boss, and then have the Ravager relatively low, but not dead yet, so we can use the time where the boss is spawning to finish off the Ravager, basically. And yeah, that is pretty much what we're trying to do here. So the Ravager, since it's jumping around anyways, it won't die before the other mobs are dying. And then we just try to do our AoE CC, stop the casts that need to be stopped, dodge the breath of the Ravager still, obviously, and then basically just cleave everything down. And yeah, that is pretty much one of the last trash packs that we have to play actually in this dungeon, which is very, very good. Afterwards we have to play 2 more and then the dungeon is done. So as you can see, the Ravager is like 60% right now, and then slowly but steady the whole pack is dying. We have a Mana Fiend pretty high still, or 2 actually. And yeah, now the Ravager is at 45% when the last Mana Fiend dies. 43, 42 actually. Okay, 40%. And now we have 20 seconds of RP where the boss is spawning, but we don't lose any time because we have a mob to kill. So yeah, we are just killing this Ravager in the meantime. Still have like 7 seconds left. We actually moved to the side here a little bit because we couldn't kill it fast enough, and we didn't just want to chain it into the boss. So we just played it safe, take it to the side. Again, something where we could have saved a little bit of time if we just chained it a little bit earlier, but we wanted to just rather play it safe. We maximize our thundering uptime here so we don't clear instantly. Now we gotta just make sure that we have something for mana bombs. We want to have something for the Arcane Fissure. And if we get overlaps with like Orbs and Arcane Fissure and, you know, then we need to use big defensives here. So pretty much you want to use Astral Shift on cooldown here if you get a bomb, just to get more uses of Astral Shift into the boss fight, basically. So first one, I instantly use Astral Shift here, so we don't have to use any externals from the healer or whatever. Arcane Fissure here. This almost one-shots you in a very high tyrannical key, by the way. So this is also like already a mechanic that you have to worry about, basically. So yeah. Luckily I don't get these bombs, because the only thing I have left right now would be to shift into Ghost Wolf or Spirit Wolf or Earth Alley. So yeah, it's really important also that you get a little bit of lucky sometimes, depending on how many defensives you have left. But as you can see, I mean, our healer still has everything. We can also call for TD, so for time dilation if you really need. Here I just shift into Ghost Wolf. It's very fine. Nothing to worry about here. Also, on this fight, it can be a little bit sketchy to maximize uptime on your Thundering buff, with all the mechanics going on, with all the overlaps going on and stuff like that. So it is kind of difficult. Right here, I get a quick battle rest onto our Fairy Druid. It's very important that we get him up, because we obviously need a lot of damage here. I go to the side here. I don't have a lot here to live, so I just health potted right at the end, because I saw that Crawth took a while to top me there. I don't know if he had like a lot of instant healing ready, so I just popped the health potion in the end there. I almost died, even though I topped myself with damage potion. I think I was also in Ghost Wolf for Spirit Wolf damage reduction. But yeah, so now I have another bomb. I Astral Shift again because it's up, and we're very, very safe here because we still had Zephyr up. But it was an overlap, so Astral Shift was very good. I also used my Earth Alley because we had the bombs, and then we instantly had Arcane Fissure afterwards. So if you get low from the bomb and then you don't get top for the Arcane Fissure and it just one-shots you, yeah, that would be pretty bad. So those are like the overlaps that you gotta have an eye for. One of you group members at least has to see it and call it, so that everyone else can like respond to it basically. And yeah, because then it's not scary. If you have your defensives, if you used everything for it that you need to, then it's not that bad basically. But if you get the bombs, you're like, oh, I don't need to use anything for it because, you know, I'm gonna live it anyways. And then you get surprised by the Arcane Fisher and you're just dead, then yeah, you can deplete a key to it. So yeah, good that we didn't get surprised by it, but we actually knew that it was coming. I mean, you can see how low we drop every single time a mechanic goes off here, which is really scary. But yeah, we have decent damage here, single target, I would say, for a Vexamus fight where you don't have 100% uptime. I'm not sure if there's gonna be another like very scary overlap, maybe like one more, but I'm not sure. Here, high roll, because I don't have Earth Alley, I don't have Astral Shift, I didn't get a bomb, that's very good. I used a AAG here, which was very, very good actually, to top the group here. Was a good timing. And now we get the last Arcane Fisher here. Try to not clear as much as we can to keep our Thundering buff for uptime. Then I clear on the tank, and now the boss is like down to 5%, so it should be done in a second. We get the last mana bombs here. I should Astral Shift this. Yes, there we go, just to make sure that we survive it. And then the boss is almost dead. There we go. All right, we have 7.5 minutes left. We still have 21% of trash to do and the Tyrannical 26 last boss. Not exactly the greatest odds. Here we actually just go for it. Forget to use our Raw from the Druid. That would have also saved a little bit of time. He was just probably thinking about something else and just ran for it. Whereas, obviously, it would have been nice if we all got the Raw there to save some seconds. It's a lot of walking to get all the way over here to the trash. So now we don't even have 7 minutes left anymore. Still 21% trash and last boss. So, yeah. I put the Invoker up here into my focus once I can finally target it. There we go. Put it into my focus. And then with these, you want to group them up. Get range kicks on the Invoker in the back there. Group them up, and I will just explain the strategy that you want to do here. We actually didn't, because we fucked it up due to storming. But you want to group them up at the top of the stairs, and then slowly move them down the stairs. Because as long as you stand like below the ones that are spinning, like if they are spinning on top of the stairs and you are like 2-3 steps down the stairs, you won't take any damage from the whirlwind, as you can see right now. Like, where we're standing right now, if they are spinning, we don't take damage. But because a tank is getting hit by storming a couple of times, we're actually having a really hard time moving them down the stairs properly here, so we lose a lot of damage. If we play this clean, we can easily save like 10 to 15 seconds. So, yeah, another point where we lost a lot of time in our run here. Definitely didn't play it perfect, but at least we didn't have like a wipe here, which can also easily happen if you don't play this correctly. But yeah, obviously the way that we're playing it right now is not how you want to play it. But yeah, I explained how you want to play it. So we cleave them all down though, everything pretty much dead. One is still a little bit high, one of the Echo Knights, but it's all good. We just get it down here. And now we are missing 5% trash, which is the 4 mobs in front of Doragosa's room. So what do you want to do with these? Because we only have 5 minutes left. We just take them onto the boss. We kick it, then we melee kick it again. Or I kick. I actually can't remember exactly. And then you just take everything onto the boss. There's nothing really matters. The only thing you gotta worry about is not stand in the whirlwind, which you don't have to. I mean, the hitbox of last boss is big enough to where you can just stand on the other side. And then get kicks on the Invoker, on the missiles. Which pretty much every time is kicked by a melee, and then when the boss is doing the power vacuum where it grips everyone together and then you have to walk out of it, if then the mob is casting the missiles, then either the Evoker healer or I have to kick it because we have range kicks. So you can see the missiles here, and actually these are going through because I kicked before. Bad on my end. But yeah, usually you want to have range kicks for those. Luckily it's tyrannical, so a missile cast won't just kill you or kill the tank or whatever. But ideally, you want to have your range kicks for situations like this. And then you could just kick it while running out. For us, the Invoker is almost dead already anyways, so we don't really have to kick it anymore. The other targets, by the way, like you don't try to like kill these ads relatively quickly. You can just keep them up and keep them for funnel. As long as you interrupt the whirlwinds, if you have to stand close to them, like due to mechanics or whatever. Like if you have to stand close to them, just interrupt the whirlwind, and then you can just use them for funnel. It's really good for Enhance, it's really good for Feral, and yeah, pretty good. Also, kind of good for Warrior. Unfortunately, Jelly dies here, but we still have 1 CR. So at this point, we don't have a CR anymore. At this point, we just need to play safe. 70% boss HP, 3.5 minutes, 26 tyrannical. Not easy. But the main thing we have to worry about is just playing safe, and then we should have it. Because we have to damage for it, right? Like, we surely have to damage for it. The only thing we need to worry about is not dying. Because as soon as one person dies, we don't have to damage for it anymore, and then it's a deplete. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we want to worry about right now. Yeah, you kind of also want to make sure that you drop these puddles on the ground in a good spot. Every time you get the 3rd stack, you leave 1 on the ground, obviously. So we try to, like, move the boss around the room, and then, like, the melees, every time you have 2 stacks, you want to be behind the boss, so that whenever you get the 3rd stack, because sometimes it's giving out 1 random, even if you don't get hit by an ability, there's just these random stacks that go out. If you get hit by it, you place the thing behind the boss, and then you just move the boss like around the room, basically, on the edge. And yeah, that's kind of how you want to play it. I almost got hit by the breath there, but fortunately we dodged it. I'm still doing like a lot of damage on this fight, which is really good. A lot of that comes from the funnel that we get in the beginning, obviously. But yeah, you can see like 70% was it with 3.5 minutes. We got it down to 40% in almost like 1.5 minutes. So this boss has a shit ton of HP. Even though we said, yeah, you just don't die and then you time it, you still need to do like the damage, like all the damage that you can. So it's definitely not a free key at this point. We still need to play perfect to do like all the damage that we can. Otherwise, we may just not have enough time to finish this. And obviously, the longer the fight goes, the more of these like puddles you have on the ground. Sure, at some point they despawn, but it's gonna get more and more and more. And if you don't play this clean, then you just have these orbs like flying around all of the room, and then it's getting harder and harder to dodge them all the time, and makes for more room for mistakes, basically. So yeah, we have it down to 25%, 1 minute 23 right now. It is definitely not looking too promising, but yeah, I was very, very confident, and I remember clearly trying to calm down the group here, because we had like voice comms that were a little bit hectic, a little bit filled with panic and stuff like that. Because obviously, you know, if one person dies, it's over, basically. So yeah, I'm trying to tell them like, guys, focus on dodging, play clean, we have the damage. Boss is at 15%, we have a minute left, like play clean, this boss is dead. You know, then we time the key. So yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we want to do here. 47 seconds, 12%. Of course, now we have like Arms Warrior execute, which is very good. Which, by the way, I wanted to say before, Warrior actually gains boss damage as well from having multiple targets, because as soon as the other target gets low, you can cleave executes onto the boss, which is like very, very good. So yeah, we have a lot of funnel from like everyone in the group. And yeah, as you can see, we played it safe. We have 23 seconds left, and the boss basically just dies here. I think we have touch for the end, 500k, and there we go. We touch it, and that's the key timed 26 Algeth'ar Academy, the highest tyrannical academy that has been timed so far. 30 seconds slower than the fastest one as well. So I'm very, very happy with this. Even though I played pretty shit in this key, like overall, I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of mistakes. I could have played a lot better, but I learned a lot from it as well, making this commentary. So I hope you guys learned something as well. So yeah, we can all improve together as players. Make sure to keep an eye on the channel, maybe subscribe to the channel, because there's gonna be 2 more for this ID, 2 more keys, maybe more, but I already have 2 recorded, or like, you know, the key recorded, not the commentary. But like, yeah, there's gonna be 2 more where, in my opinion, I played better than this one. So make sure you check those out. Again, I have the Radar.io Play Like the Pros article where we got interviewed in the video description. So check that out. And also, these keys most of the time are streamed on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/waveswow. Thank you very much for watching and for the support. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, write a comment if you have any questions, or hit me up on stream. And with that being said, thank you very, very much for watching. Take care, stay healthy, and I will see you around. Peace.